further ado, I would now request Professor Vasanthi Srinivas, Chairperson, Digital Learning, for the welcome address. Further ado, I would now request Professor Vasanthi Srinivas, Chairperson, I would now Digital Learning, Professor
Radiophonic effects. YouTube Live, is it? Oh, okay, great. Okay, thank you so much. And at the outset, welcome to IIM Bangalore. And I must confess that being totally unbiased and an alumni from here, I think it's an amazing campus. You love it. And what can I say? We are celebrating 50 years this year, our Golden Jubilee, and therefore it makes it even more special. I hope you will not just enjoy the course that we have curated, no doubt you will, but more importantly, I think education is also a function of the ambience, okay? And it's this ambience, even though you're going to be virtual, but you will still be coming here. For me, that's the most important one, which is just enjoy what we have to offer. Let me formally welcome you on behalf of IIMBX, the digital arm of IIM Bangalore. Just for you to get a perspective in terms of IIMBX presence in the online and digital education, we were one of the first IIMs in the country to actually embark on this journey. In 2014, we partnered with edX to offer standalone courses. And as I speak to you today, we have about 75 courses on the edX platform. We've crossed 2 million enrollments. And as per the global standards, our completion rate of participants is anywhere between 3 to 4%. Okay. And we are also one of the smallest schools. We have only 107 faculty compared to the other large universities. And consistently in the rankings, we come in the top 3. The second, so that's one presence that we have, which is our international presence. The second that we are, and we are quite proud of, is our association with the Ministry of Education, Government of India. We offer courses every semester on the Swayam platform. And as I speak to you, this time we have crossed 5 lakh enrollments, and every single course that we have offered has 500 learners enrolled. Now, these numbers we expect will grow even further in the future because UGC now permits students from any university to take credit courses from other universities up to 40%. The third platform, relatively new, that we are also engaged with the government is on Mission Karma Yogi. And as a part of that initiative, we offer courses for upskilling of government employees, civil servants, and bureaucrats. And last but not the least, we have our own platform, which is the one that you will be engaged with, which is the IIMBX platform. On this platform, we do not launch individual courses. We only offer programs. Last year, we offered 2 programs. The first is a certificate program in hospital management, and the second is this program that you are enrolled on, which is AI for managers. And one of the vision that we have for the IIMBX platform is for us to be able to curate content for unique niche audiences and also make sure that we are contributing to building management education for underserved segments, but most importantly, accessible and affordable. High quality education for all. Okay. So, and let me also share with you that I'm extremely proud that we have an amazing team of 38 professionals. And we have them from every area that you can think of, right from camera crew to video editors to graphic designers, all the way to transcriptionists to pedagogical research associates. We have the spectrum, plus a very strong tech team. Therefore, I think what's important is for you to just enjoy the experience. And what makes us different from many other places is also the fact that every single course that we offer on any of these programs is developed and delivered by faculty who are full-time faculty at IIM Bangalore or are associated as adjunct faculty with us. So what an average MBA or anybody else in our programs today gets is exactly the course content that each one of you will get. On that note, I welcome you to the program, to IIMB, and I'm sure you'll have a great learning experience. Okay. Over to you, Shika.
Thank you, Professor Vasanti, for enlightening us. I would request now all the dignitaries to join us for lighting the lamp. And I would also request two of the learners to also join us for lighting the lamp. Professor Vasanti, Ms. Sindhu, Professor Rishikesh, Professor Dinesh Kumar, please. Two participants, please. Come. Great. Come. There are more than... It's okay. Come. Please come. Yeah. Most welcome. Stop. You start. Stop. I think two of you should hold them. Three. Thank you all. It was a lovely start to this morning. Now, I would like to call upon Professor Rishikesha T. Krishnan, Director of IIM Bangalore.
Yeah, good morning. So I'm also delighted to see all of you here this morning. Special welcome to Ms. Sindhu Gangadharan for being with us on this important occasion. I don't have much to add in terms of the overview to what Vasanti already shared with you, except to say that digital learning is an important part of the portfolio of education activities we have at IIMB. We keep debating how much we need to be in the classroom, how much we need to be hybrid, how much we need to be online. But I think what is quite clear is that today different learners have different requirements. There are certain kinds of content which can be communicated and shared quite well through digital platforms. And it is our endeavor to be on all these multiple modes and offer very high quality, meaningful educational experiences to participants basically across the spectrum. This particular course on AI for managers is particularly important because clearly if there's one term you can't avoid in any business context today, it's artificial intelligence. It's something that comes up in almost every conversation. At the same time, I think there's a some difficulty in understanding what exactly AI is about and how it is really impacting business and the world. So I'm sure this course will bring that out quite well, and that you will be much better informed and much better skilled by the end of it. I would particularly like to appreciate the efforts of our program director, Professor Dinesh Kumar. Dinesh heads a center on data analytics here at IIMB. And in their center over the last decade, they've had a very vigorous and rigorous research program where they've been working both in terms of academic research as well as with various organizations in understanding how the contours of data and business analytics are changing. Now, AI and machine learning have sort of become important adjuncts to this entire process. And I'm delighted to see that DCAL has taken the lead in making sure that all our content and all the work we do is up to date, taking into account the latest developments in AI and machine learning. Of course, there are a lot of interesting questions I think ahead on the AI landscape. I'm not an expert on AI, and I keep telling people that I keep getting invited to speak on generative AI, and I keep running away from all those invitations because I actually don't know anything about it. But nonetheless, I think there are a few things which are somewhat clear. One thing is that while at a kind of zero level, the integration of AI as a means of improving efficiency and productivity seems to be happening quite rapidly. This is more or less in continuity with a process that started with the Industrial Revolution. If you just recall what happened in history, the way productivity first got enhanced was when machines came in. Then this got further enhanced once the machines got powered, first by steam and then by electricity. Then, of course, in the last 100 years, we have seen how first analog and then digital technologies have further enhanced productivity and efficiency. So if you just look at that continuum, then AI is probably the latest episode in that journey which is happening. But there are, of course, other aspects of AI which go beyond just enhancing efficiency. That's where both the interesting and scary things are happening, I think, as far as I can see. And I hope during the course of this program, you will get exposed to both the efficiency enhancing aspects as well as those aspects of AI which broaden our frontiers and enable us to look at knowledge and everything else in a different way. So I must compliment all of you for deciding to enroll in this program. I'm sure this will involve a significant commitment of your time in addition to all the work and personal commitments that you have. But the one thing I can assure you is that it will be rewarding. Only one caution at the same time. I don't know what is your experience in your prior education, particularly in engineering, but management education is a little different. What you will get from this is somewhat proportional to what you put in the sense that you will have to put in significant effort from your side if you want to get good returns from what happens in this program. Because by and large, in management education, we believe it's a co-learning process. We don't think it's a one-way street where professors give lectures and everybody soaks in what they are saying. It's supposed to be a participative learning process. Of course, the online medium poses its own problems for participative learning, but I think with the experience we have in edX, on the edX platform and now in IMBX, we are fairly good at making even online learning quite interactive and participative. So my only request to you is, as you embark on this course, please make sure that you keep enough time for preparation, for doing whatever assignments and other projects and whatever other work is there. Because it's only if you do that that you will really enjoy as well as get benefits from this entire program. I had the opportunity at the valedictory of the first program to speak to many of the participants. They were all excited, and many of them were quite excited about the project work they had done and the kind of results they had seen out of that. So that just reinforces what I just told you, that I think it's going to depend quite a bit on what you put into the program as well. I would also like to particularly appreciate SAP Labs, who is a major sponsor of participants to this program. We're very happy that we've been able to strike this partnership with SAP. And this enables us to get, a lot of extremely highly talented participants in addition to all the participants joining from other companies, and also enables us to further our relationship with SAP. So thank you very much for being a big participant in this program. And with that, I'll sort of stop and wish you all well. And as Vasanthi said, whatever opportunities you have to enjoy the campus and our other facilities and so on, please do that. But of course, I guess your main focus will be on AI for managers. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Rishi, for the words of enlightenment. I would request all the dignitaries, Professor Rishi, Ms. Sindhu, Professor Vasanthi, and Professor Dinesh Kumar to please take a seat on the dais.
No, yours is correct.
Up next, we are delighted to introduce Ms. Sindhu Gangadharan, SVP and MD of SAP Labs India, Head of SAP User Enablement. Ms. Sindhu Gangadharan is among the leading voices in the world of technology today. Sindhu holds dual responsibilities at SAP. Over the last 24 years, Sindhu rose through the ranks and navigated several strategic leadership roles to become the first woman to lead the SAP Labs in India, the place where she started off her career as a young software developer. As a managing director and senior vice president of the SAP Labs in India, Sindhu is responsible for product development and innovation at the SAP's research and development facilities in India. I would now request her to please say some words of wisdom.
Good morning, everybody. It's always tough when somebody asks you to say some words of wisdom. But first and foremost, congratulations to each and every one of you for making that bold step in taking on this program, because I think that is a big step, because like Professor Rishi mentioned, right? It's one thing is embarking on that learning journey, but more importantly, it is your commitment and dedication to persevere through this intense program. Why I'm saying that is because just few weeks back, I was standing right here in the valedictory ceremony where we had colleagues from our side, but also an extended set of colleagues who had just passed out of the program, AI for Managers. And I have to tell you that I spoke to at least 29 of that batch, because 29 of them were from SAP. And I can tell you that each and every one of them had absolutely great feedback about their experience from this program, what they learned, and how it's going to shape them in their roles and opportunities that exist out there with this ever-evolving landscape that we are part of from a technology point of view. So congratulations to each one of you for embarking on this journey. And I can absolutely tell you that based on everything what I've heard and learned from our previous batch, it's absolutely going to be worth your while, but also it needs a lot of commitment, like Professor Rishi mentioned. At the onset, I also want to take this opportunity and congratulate the entire leadership team here at IIM Bangalore, because it is your leadership that has resulted in putting together such a comprehensive and a holistic program around AI for leaders who are taking charge of teams and leading the organization forward in these times. I want to call out the brilliant work, Professor Dinesh, Professor Vasanthi, Professor Rishi, all the work that you have put in to build this out in such a great manner, because it's really a combination of solid understanding, but at the same time, practical application to real business problems, right? And really putting it into context, which makes this program extremely different, efficient, and more effective. I also want to call out the great collaboration we have had also with IIM Bangalore. Particularly, I know Ms. Usha is not here, but we truly believe that certain individuals like Ms. Usha, Ms. Seema, here, there you are, for the kind of work that you put in. And Abhishek from our side, who's been, and Anzi, who's not here, our CEO for Labs India. It's all that joint work that results in this beautiful partnership. And I'm very grateful to each one of you for driving this forward. And today amongst us, we have 79 of our SAP team here. And so very, very happy that this is possible now for the second cohort too. Now, words of wisdom on AI, right? I mean, what do I say? I mean, you all know it, but if I just reflect on today's context, and even just on my way here, I was just listening to Minister Chandrasekhar. He was talking about what he's put into place for India AI context and kind of all the measures the government is kind of putting together for this topic, which is super important for all of us as a country, as an organization, as teams coming together. And I'm sure all of you would agree, right? Today, no conversation on technology or IT is complete without covering the whole topic of AI, right? It's all pervasive, if you ask me. And if you ask me, this is almost like in this grand progress or grand tapestry of human progress. AI is the thread that weaves together everything around innovation, endless possibilities, your imagination. And if you think about AI, I mean, clearly this is a game changer, right? It's a catalyst for change. It is definitely a force that amplifies each and every one of our capabilities, right? And it challenges also the limits that we put for ourselves, be it in the terms of our business context or changes we want to bring into the society, changes we want to bring in terms for people, right? And it gives us a glimpse into a future that is only limited by the scope of our dreams. That's the potential of AI as a technology. And what we have also seen in the last months is the explosion of generative AI. And I think all of us definitely have access to OpenAI's ChatGPT, and you're probably using it for various reasons that we don't want to know. But I'm sure you're all on it. And if you just think about it and compare it to some of the, I mean, many of you probably are on Instagram. I mean, you would think Instagram is everybody has it, but took Instagram, 2.5 months to reach over 1 million users or downloads, right? And with OpenAI's ChatGPT, within 5 days, we're talking about over 1 million users. That's the scale at which things are progressing. And also from a business point of view, it's very clear that generative AI and the way it is evolving across businesses, across industries, has the potential to give you totally different experiences for an end user. I mean, just from an SAP context, we're talking about 300 million users whom we can touch, right, across our cloud portfolio. And really looking at exceptional experiences that were not possible in the past, right? And also making sure that those exceptional experiences are possible where an end user can actually focus on what matters most to that user and achieve much more. Productivity, like Professor Rishi talked about, and efficiency are absolutely non-negotiable. And I want to take a moment to also reflect upon what's happening at SAP since 79 of this cohort, but it's also, many of you are also indirectly customers of SAP and clients of SAP, partners of SAP. So we've been on this journey of AI for several years now, right? I mean, we've really looked into how are we embedding AI into the core of our business processes across our lines of business. So if you're thinking about processes like core financials, or if you're looking at processes like strategic sourcing, strategic procurement, new customer experiences with lead to cash kind of processes, human experience processes like total workforce management. We've been on the journey of embedding AI across our core business processes to drive the way in which we revolutionize also these business processes across industries. And many of you know, recently we announced Joule, which is our generative AI enterprise assistant, which literally, I mean, think of use cases where a manufacturer comes in and asks Joule, hey, how is my business looking like? And Joule goes across those end-to-end processes and gives a very context-driven answer to that question from that end user to really be able to articulate in terms of which business regions are not performing too well, and being able to drill down into that business context and understand, hey, why that particular region is not doing well because of supply chain challenges in terms of product delivery, timelines not being met, and also giving the right proposals in terms of what could be alternate routes that can be proposed from a logistics point of view to ease out those supply chain challenges, right? Just to give you a little bit of color in terms of what we mean when we talk about business AI. And at SAP, we've always been committed to driving AI in a very relevant for the business, making sure it's reliable, because the part that Professor Rishi mentioned, right, to do it in the right way. That's something that we take a lot of pride, given that we serve 500,000 customers out there and close to 300 million users, cloud users as we speak, right? So that responsibility in terms of how we make sure that the right ethical decisions are being made is core to the philosophy of how we operate and make sure that the world's largest businesses, 80% of our customers being in the small and medium enterprises, run on SAP. So that's a little bit of, and I'm sure for all of you, you love to learn more, and that's exactly why you're here. But I also want to take a moment to reflect upon the India context, right? And here again, in the India context, we have a phenomenal opportunities to leverage the potential of AI and particularly the emerging technologies to really drive forward a lot of the change that is needed to foster even more economic progress, but also to address some of the most pressing challenges that our country continues to face. And today the opportunity is prime, right? If you think about it, we are the fastest growing digital economy in the world. We have massive access when it comes to talent. Every year, we are the country that produces, top 3 countries in the world that produces the highest number of STEM talent every single year, right? We have the 3rd largest startup ecosystem right here in India. And if you just look at the SaaS market opportunity in that area, we're talking about $1 trillion SaaS market opportunity, talking about fostering economic progress for the country. And just from an AI context, again, we can be very proud that 16% of the world's AI talent is sitting right here in India, right? We're number 1 when it comes to AI talent penetration, number 1 when it comes to AI skills concentration, number 5 when we talk about AI scientific research that's happening out of this country. And so as you embark on this journey of learning and understanding more, you have so much of opportunity to really drive and become that kind of, how would you say it, mediator between the experts and the larger society out there, really looking at how do you leverage the power of the technology to drive a lot of that impactful and responsible change. And that's I think the power that you'll have after this program and as part of this experience and learning from each other, because it's not just about learning from the program. I think the beauty of this program is also learning from each other and your experiences. Yeah, as I close, I just want to say that anyone who stops learning gets old, right? Be it a 20-year-old or an 80-year-old. And anyone who keeps learning remains young, right? And as I continue to live, I continue to learn. And as I continue to learn, I realize how less I know. So I can't congratulate each one of you more and applaud each one of you more to take on this learning journey, because we all want to stay young and energetic and drive the change forward. So wish you all the very best in driving that forward, and very enjoyable learning experience. You see such brilliant professors who's backing you up, and all your organizations who are supporting you and championing you. So be very grateful for this opportunity and really drive the change forward. Thank you so much for having me here today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening us. Now, I would like to request Professor Dinesh Kumar, Dean Faculty of IIM Bangalore, and Program Director of AI for Managers to come to the dais.
I'm just waiting whether I'll get the same special effect that Professor Vasanthi got. Right? I think it was only reserved for Vasanthi. Good morning and welcome to IIM Bangalore. Welcome to AFR Managers course. As you know, you're the second batch. The guinea pigs have graduated and doing very well. So you don't have to worry, right? It has been tested. Just to give you some background, this program is an outcome of 15 years of research. Professor Rishi spoke about Data Center and Analytics Lab, which was established about 10 years back or 10.5 years back precisely. And we have been working in this area even before that. I started offering a course on analytics to our PGP students as an elective. And immediately after that, we launched a certificate program in business analytics. It's on-campus program. The 14th batch is going on. And during this journey, we also developed large number of content. And some of this content you will not find anywhere else. Just to give you an idea, even though we did hundreds of projects, 42 of these projects are actually written as case studies and published as Harvard Business Case at Harvard Business Publishing Portal. And 25 of them are actually bestsellers at Harvard Portal. So you're going to look at some of these case studies which are used by across the world. I mean, more than some 300 universities use these case studies, right? If you look at AI today, you can't avoid, right? Professor Rishi was saying that. And today we need to create a talent which at least is aware of what is AI, right? I may call them AI citizens. Because if you go back to the history, the first AI model, I won't call it AI model because those days it was called thinking machines, but then they didn't know how to create machine that can think. But the first mathematical model for neuron, which is a basic computing unit in our brain, was created in 1931. But it took almost 100 years for us to drive innovation through AI. Now that is a key today because unlike other techniques, right, how organizations do AI today is completely different. You can call it disruptive because Sindhu spoke about ChatGPT, but I can assure you that whatever assignments you get, you will not find answer through ChatGPT, right? So don't even try. We have checked whether ChatGPT can give answer. That's why we have created those questions. Right, coming back to the point, if you look at today, it's not just disruptive, but it is driving innovation. But let us go back to, 80s, right? How AI was used. AI was there, but then it's not as popular as what we see today. Probably people called it data mining, data science, analytics, and so on. It was simply for decision making. So can we have a system that will help organizations to take decisions, right? And in 90s and 80s, they started creating applications. But then these applications are not that good, right? Because either the data was problem. Even today, if you look at many AI projects fail because the quality of data is questionable, right? You can't trust many of the data that we get. And especially with generative AI, people can generate data and give it to you, right? Now, it's a synthetic data. Probably it's not a real data. Now, going back to my own example, when these applications started by many companies, I used to get an email from one of the matrimonial sites, right? And this matrimonial site would say that 5,600 brides waiting for me, right? I was wondering, okay, I didn't give much attention. Anyway, so there's one of the spams. But then obviously today, you know that this guy is not clicking on those emails, right? You know that. So they changed the subject line. Instead of 5,600 brides waiting, they said 5,600 soulmates waiting for you, right? So I got interested, okay, I want to know who these soulmates are. I went and clicked on that link. And then I started seeing the profile, right? Is it ethical or unethical? We'll just leave it that aside. Anyway, and I realized many of these brides are from my community and a place from where I come from. Now that is not difficult to crack, okay? You can crack by looking at my surname or crack it by the travel history, which place I'm frequently traveling, or which city I'm calling frequently, where my calls are going frequently and all that, you can figure that out. But then the problem is that you need to have a complete data, right? That email should have come at least 25 years before, okay? It's too late, right? And obviously my wife was upset, right? So the point I'm trying to make is that you cannot create an application without understanding, without having a full knowledge of data, right? That is a major challenge. So that's how it started, okay? At least in the last 40 years. And then came the process automation, what we call as robotic process automation, right? Today, it is happening at a completely different level. So the so-called robotic process automation is at a completely different level because we are looking at integration of several technologies coming together to process automation. Today, there are warehouses which are completely manned by machine learning algorithms and AI and so on, and you don't find any human running around the warehouse trying to pick up things so that they can satisfy or meet the customer order and so on, right? The third way of AI is actually kind of driving innovation, right? So that's why large number of companies are actually investing in AI, because if you talk about any of these big companies, they keep releasing new applications almost every month. And these are innovative applications. So if you talk about healthcare today, right? And you see a lot of innovation happening in healthcare, mainly in terms of diagnostics. So for example, let us say if you want to check whether somebody's heart is in good shape, right? Now you may take ECG, you may take TMT, you may put the patient through angiogram and all that. But today what Google says is, I don't have to do any of these things. Right? I can look at the eye scan of the patient or whoever it is, and I can figure out what is the chance that this person may get heart attack in next 5 years, right? And this is the kind of innovation that we are looking at. And this is what is kind of making everybody interested in this field and trying to understand, okay, can we do our business in a better way, right? Ms. Sindhu, when she was talking about, she spoke about the supply chain related issues, right? Today, we are living in a world, we don't know where the next war is going to come from, right? And that causes a lot of disruptions to supply chain. Now, currently, we are working with one of the companies and trying to understand any kind of disruptions that happens anywhere in the world. It need not be war, it can be weather-related disruptions, and maybe this unrest, the company employees are on strike and so on. Can you figure out how it is going to disrupt our supply chain, right? And we are collecting data, like kind of large language model, and trying to create alert to this company that, okay, there is a chance that your supply chain may be, disrupted because of this event that is happening in a country which is probably about 20,000 kilometers away from you, right? These kind of applications, it is almost impossible without AI, right? So that's why it is gaining so much of importance today. And it is very, very important that every employee, irrespective of whichever company or whichever organization you come from, you need to understand what is AI, what can be done, and what is the problem with AI. And even though this is an online program, MOOC program, I promise you that there is no compromise on the content. The toughness of the assignment is not any different from the assignments that we give it to our PGP students, right? So at the end of this 16 months journey, I'm sure you'll be glad that you did this program, and it'll increase the confidence in you to talk to anybody who is talking about AI, and in the right sense, because there are a lot of people talk about AI without understanding what it is, right? So that's where we are going to start in this course. We'll take a baby step and go all the way up to generative AI and how it can be used innovatively and make the organizations healthier or wealthier, and also at a country level also. Today, if you look at wealth creation, when we talk about, right, there's an organizational wealth creation and also wealth creation at the country level. Now, one of the reasons, maybe I am biased, but one of the reasons why people invest heavily in AI is because the wealth creation is going to happen through AI. And that's why it's very, very important. And I'll stop here because anyway, I have to spend 3 hours after this, right? We'll discuss more about that. And once again, congratulations and wish you good luck with the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
Come to my PPT also.
Which one?
Another one.
Can you change the slide? Okay, may I now request Seema to present on the STETS cohort.
Good morning, everyone. Audible? Yeah. When we announced the admission, the first query I was getting, what the cohort looks like. Are we going to study with freshers? Are we going to study with the techie people? Are we going to study with the peers who are more into coding? So I'll give a brief understanding how this cohort looks like. It's very easy to understand the composition and characteristics of a cohort in an executive learning program. It's a fundamental for program administrators, faculties, educators, and the participants. The cohort profile serves as a lens which through we gain insight into the diversity, needs, and expectations of the group. This PPT, this presentation will help to understand how our program remains inclusive, welcoming professionals from various backgrounds and industries, and it also promotes diversity, enriching the learning experience through diverse perspective. The AIML Batch-2 for 23-24 batch is a selected group of experienced professionals from diverse industry who have embarked on a transformative journey of advanced learning of AI tools, machine learning, and also an analytical study. This diversity offers unique opportunities for networking and cross-sector knowledge exchange during the program. As the statistics shows, the participants bring a wealth of knowledge, experience, and achievements for this program, promising an enriching and transformating learning experience. Here is the brief descriptive statistics about it. We had received around 380 applications, and out of which 33% we admitted in the batch. Please big round of applause to the one who completed successfully. Gender is always an issue, but to add on that, last year we had a female batch size of 17%, which has increased from 22%, all the women in the house. And I'm very pretty sure Professor Vasanthi and Ms. Sindhu is an exemplary woman, and we always take an inspiration from these women. And going forward, I want it should be a 50-50 balance with the AI. The age distribution, the most commonly factor, as Ms. Sindhu said, the moment you stop learning, you become old. And here in this batch, I have a batch size of 126 learner, wherein 87% of my cohort belongs to the age above 35 to 50 years. And they also have a work experience of more than 30 years also. So you are in the best group so far. And to add on that, everyone is young here, 20s, take it from me. The educational background. Many of the learners from this cohort, they are already very familiar with the IMB campus, stating that they have already done GMP, PGPM, CTM, many of the programs from IIM Bangalore. So they are very okay with the AI for Managers program. And if you see this stats, wherein the master degree, the postgraduate degree, 49% are already having a master degree in this cohort. As I said, the work experience, as you go with the age, 35 years and above, 89 people, almost around 80% of the cohort have a work experience of 15 years and above from different companies like Microsoft, Amazon, PayPal, education industries like Presidency University. We have 2 professors, associate professors also in this cohort. As I said, IT people will be dominating, but to look in these charts, we have 2 from education sector, 7 from finance company like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Genpact. Manufacturing companies like TCS, and others company includes the pharma. We have learners across different companies. The bigger companies, I'll name a few. Microsoft, Amazon, SAP Labs, VMware, ENY, TCS, Mastercard, PayPal, Infosys, Genpact, Bosch, BSNL, and Presidency University. And also the profile includes a very senior professors like associate professors, directors, product owners, CFO, CPO, product senior managers, Navy generals, and also data analytics and AI leads. To add on that, on the geographical statistics, we have 5 learners from abroad: Dubai, United Kingdom, Canada, Singapore, and Kingdom of Bahrain. Obviously, Karnataka dominating with 101 people from the cohort size. And we have also touched many of the good states like Delhi, NCR, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Telangana, and Chennai. Some of the fun facts. It's more of a data things has got over, so we'll switch to fun facts. The first fun fact I'll tell about the cohort is, we have 3 learners with the age group of 29 and 30. They are the youngest. So you can ask them to do their project. Another fun fact, not only we are progressing towards in the terms of numbers with the cohort, we are moving towards in the form of relationship also. Last cohort, we had siblings. This cohort, we have couple. And last, the 3 of the 4 CVs which I was referring, they enjoy coding. So I guess AI will be a cakewalk for them. Thank you. That's my end.
Thank you, Seema. That was quite interesting. Now I keep the session open for our learners. If they have any questions or you want to, in terms of expectations, you can share your expectations. Or if you have any questions, you may ask. I would request some volunteers from the learners cohort to please come and share their expectations.
Or if you have any queries, questions to them. You have plenty of time to ask questions to me.
16 months. Yeah.
Just wanted to know how many opportunities we will get for this next 16th month for coming to the campus. I think even this was not expected. I was thinking it was totally online. So we would like to come as and when the opportunities are given.
Right, so that is Seema. So there are, can anybody, all of you hear me? Okay, good, yeah. So there will be a lot of synchronous classes, right? Coming to campus, we will send the schedule because the last batch, we had few sessions on campus, right? So, and not just for this particular course, we also have other events like, for example, we have AI on ESG. There's a conference coming in December. And we have workshops, conferences, master classes, and so on. So we invite, and anybody is interested from this cohort, they can attend those events as well, right? So on campus, there will be a lot of opportunities. We'll send details. Seema will be in touch with you and share those details. All right?
Thank you, sir. Actually, for Professor Rishi, see, education we can go through online, but it is the networking opportunity and the ambience of, I should not the ambience, is the overall culture of IMB, which makes us more profitable from this course. So kindly give us the opportunity whenever it is possible for you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm quite sensitive to that. In fact, even during the pandemic, when we talked to our students, they said the classroom learning part was happening reasonably well even online. But the main thing which they really missed is exactly what you mentioned just now, the opportunity to interact with each other, learn from each other, do things together and so on. And we quite appreciate that, particularly in an executive program like this, where all of you are already employed in companies. Certainly you would be looking for opportunities to learn from others. But interestingly, what we found in last year, as Vasanti mentioned, we ran 2 of these online certificate programs. One was the hospital management one, and the other one was AI for managers. At the end, I didn't find anybody complaining about this aspect. I mean, they didn't have any negative feedback about lack of interaction opportunities. So I think in a way that's built into the program. Particularly if you're in Bangalore, as Dinesh just mentioned, there will be quite a few opportunities for you to come here. But we'll certainly keep your point in mind. I think that's a good feedback. And we'll certainly see what opportunities we can create for you to meet and interact with others.
Thank you, sir.
AI, right? And AI is improving every day. So has there been any change from what was presented last batch and this one?
Yeah, so, when we were reaching towards the end of the last batch, the Gen AI became very popular, right? We added content on Gen AI, and we also had few on-campus sessions for the students on Gen AI, right? So we keep improving, and if the content is not there in the video form, we will have either online sessions or on-campus sessions for those topics, right? This is a fast changing field, and we have to update probably on a quarterly basis. So we keep doing that.
I think the good thing is, ma'am, this since their data center and analytics lab is actively working in this area with companies and on research, Dinesh and his team are quite abreast of what is going on. So the only challenge for them is to make sure that that is shared with you. I think as he just mentioned, of course, we have the content which is already recorded, which is all the foundational stuff. But if there are new things happening, I'm sure they will have live sessions with you where that will be covered. So I think I expect it will be done.
Sure, thank you. So the projects that are part of this course, are they group projects or are they individual ones? Okay, thank you.
Hello, Professor. Pramod here. Really excited to be the part of cohort 2 for this course. Couple of questions. Why do we call this course as AI for managers specifically? And what is the target? After we complete this course, will we be AI citizens, as you mentioned, or leaders in this topic?
Right.
Yeah.
That you have to decide whether you want to become a leader or citizen, right? So why AI for managers, right? See, the focus is how do you create solutions through AI, right? We are not looking at how do you develop algorithms. That's not the focus, right? So that's why it's called AI for managers. So this is created for decision makers so that they can create solution or come up with a better solution to their clients or innovate, come up with innovative solutions and so on. So that's why it is called AI for managers. We also have AI for leaders, but the leaders may not have 16 months to spend to understand. But that's a 3-day course. We do have AI for leaders. So if you want to become leader, that's the course, right? Yeah. We covered everything, starting from coding all the way to leader in this space. Yeah.
Professor, second question is, how much of the mathematical foundation should we brush up for this course?
That's our worry, don't worry. We'll ensure that you learn all the math, right? The assignments will ensure that you learn everything.
Sir, how long will we be able to access the online content that will be provided as part of this course?
So see, this course is 16 months duration. After that, it is made available for some additional time, probably Vasanti or Seema, 2 months. So after the completion, the content will be available for 2 months.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Bharat. Thank you so much for inviting us for this introduction program. It was, very enlightening to start with. My question to you, Professor, would be that, as we are going through a lot of content and study material, I'm sure there would be a lot of case studies which probably we can go through and learn from, and a lot of industry applications as well, which are not readily available, which you also mentioned, certain courses on Harvard or certain case studies. Will be having access to those so that we can learn more and become more in this area?
Yeah, so all the synchronous live sessions, it's for case studies. So you'll be solving cases during the synchronous live sessions. So you'll learn the concepts, and we also discuss some cases when you go through the concepts in the videos. And all the sessions that we have online, synchronous sessions, it's all for case studies, solving case studies. So probably every online session, we may solve 1 or 2 cases, right? As I said, we have more than 40 cases at Harvard Business Publishing, and we'll cover majority of them.
Wow, thank you so much. In addition to that, we'll be having access to library as well, or online library, so that we can keep accessing and learning more?
Yes, yeah. So this information, you can, Seema, all these questions, Seema will be able to answer, right? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Let me just kind of chip in there. Anything that has to do with admin related, anything that is there, Seema is the first point of contact. Okay? And why is this important? Please don't wait. If you have a problem, just raise it at that point in time. At the end of the day, you as learners are central to this process. So if something does not work, something is a challenge, you don't know how to download, you don't know what, please don't hesitate. Just there is our tech support team. They will provide you more information, but just make sure that you focus on the learning experience. And if there's anything at all that you need, the team from the IMBX will take care of it. Yeah. Whatever questions today, please, before you close for the end of the day, please check with them, get to meet them, so that you can put a name to the face when you kind of ask for this.
Sure, thank you so much.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. So you said like already there are case studies that we'll be going through. Will there be any opportunity that we come across some problem statement in our day-to-day work and we can propose it and we can work upon that?
So are you offering a consulting work to me?
Kind of.
I would love to do it, right? If you provide some check also along with that question.
That I need to check with my organization.
Yes, please. Immediately after this break. Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So this batch has about 79 people from SAP, right? How can we, like suppose I'm from Hewlett Packard Enterprise, right, HP. If I want my company to know, first of all, they're not aware of this program. How can I make sure that it is known to people, and probably there will be a huge batch of people who want to take this, right? So how can we make that happen?
You are our brand ambassador now, right?
Sure.
So we are creating brand ambassadors. So last time there were 29 SAP participants, this time 79. So you see that, right? Yeah. So now probably one from HP, maybe 50 next year, right? So that's.
Sure, thank you.
I'll ask my team to reach out to you.
Sure,
Okay.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Vinay. Thanks for having us. I want to take this opportunity just to ask 3 questions to the leadership here, and want to take the moment of all the experience and the understanding that you guys have. So I want to start off with first question, which is not related to this course. All 3 questions are not related to this course. First one is around the start of this year. We were like looking at AI as a revolutionary, and there was an war that started off, and then there was also an exploitations on the use of AI for military sanctions and things like that. So it took a backseat. Now there is another incident on Middle East. So how are we foreseeing the AI for future for next year? If some inputs on that will be helpful. That's the first question.
One by one?
Yeah.
You said leadership, so I'm going to give the mic.
No, I think you raise a very important point on ethical usage of AI, right? Because also the examples that you just talked about are exactly why we need more people like all of us in this room who deeply understand what it means when you influence those decisions, what it means when you bring in biases into the data sets that you train your algorithms with, right? And And that is why this whole responsibility aspect is paramount on how we will leverage technology in the right way, right? And this is super important. I mean, if you just look at the Middle East and the war that's happening, of course, there are, I mean, even in the context of war, there are brilliant use cases of how so many lives have been protected with all those missiles landing in, and Israel has this, what do they call it? The dome, the Iron Dome, right? Where within a few minutes, you're able to pretty much track where that missile is going to land, and if it's going to land on people who are going to be impacted, and kind of avert that. So that's a good case, but then again, that same thing can be put into a totally different use case. And that's why it's super important that, I mean, technologies are there, but really that deep understanding of the domain, like Professor Dinesh mentioned earlier on, and then the application of it for the right usage, this becomes super, super important.
From a completely different perspective, I teach human resource management and organization behavior. One of the most interesting things that's happened over the last maybe 6 to 9 months is I have more conversations on ethics with senior leaders than I've had in the previous 20 years. So if there's one thing generative AI has done, is actually getting us to confront what kind of ethical biases, what kind of ethical limitations, and most importantly, when you're working with vulnerable groups. We never think of our technology in the hands of vulnerable groups. And so one of the interesting conversations was, will AI actually deepen and enlarge the base of phishing attacks? Okay, and this is, I thought, a very, very interesting question. It should. And therefore, what kind of countermeasures, and this is a conversation that the police were having on saying, what's the nature of policing capability that is going to be needed given the way generative AI is going? So a large number of questions we are confronted every day are really human capability questions because of generative AI. And that's something like one of the other one, I was on a panel discussion where they said, will prompt engineering be the future? I mean, how silly. Prompt engineering is about being able to ask the right questions, knowing the context. Now, should we be asking the right questions and when we don't even know the questions to ask? So this contextual understanding, is becoming even more critical from a human capability perspective. I mean, a completely different perspective, but these conversations are happening in other spaces.
Thank you, Professor Vasanthi. I think that was very useful. And this behavioral models of generative AI is something which is getting evolved even now. So it's a good point. I'm moving on to the second question. This is more a targeted question to Ma'am Sindhu. It's a focus question instead of targeted, so it's a better way of using it. So, like SAP India specific perspective, what is the initiatives that you can share to the open forum? I would like to understand a little more on, like moving from digitalization, like Modi's government started off overall digitalization of Indian and making sure digital products reach to the every citizens, and that somehow that AI needs to become as a citizen for every AI. What is the steps that you're taking? It was very inspirational to understand the business side of the AI investments, but if you could share some investments and initiatives on what are the steps you're taking to make AI reach to the common citizens, especially on Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities?
Yeah, I mean, we can spend the rest of the day talking about the various things, but I mean, as SAP, we've always been extremely purpose-driven, right? I mean, at the core of our philosophy is really helping the world run better and improving people's lives. And no matter in which part of the world you look into, that is core to our philosophy in everything that we do. In fact, this program here as well was out of the genuine understanding of how do we make sure that every leader from our side has the right knowledge to make those right decisions, like you said, to drive not just the growth at SAP, but in the ecosystem that they are part of, right? That's fundamental belief system that we. I mean, I can just take one example concretely. We recently had Startup Social, right? And if you're talking about how are we bringing forth access to our technology to different aspects of the society. I mean, the startups that we are working with, for example, right, build on our platform. And they have access today, pretty much every startup that have scaled out, who worked with us as part of our incubation program, but even beyond. They're leveraging SAP even earlier on to kind of help them scale out, right? Just one example of startups. And we are also working very closely with many of these startups to give them access to the platform, but most importantly, access to our product experts who have deep domain understanding be it in core of financials, or be it in core of human experience management, be it in the core of customer experience, or the network, or core of ERP, right? And that's a huge value add, because then they can really see how those solutions can benefit from existing capabilities that are already there and bring in their very focused niche areas that they then are excelling in, and drive that and also access to the market, which is again a huge thing, right? Because if you think about many of these startups, not necessarily only for the India market, but also in markets around the world. And besides that, I'm sure if you probably have heard of programs like Code Unnati. Now, Code Unnati is a program that we're very, very proud of, which is all about bringing in digitization into the every corners of the country. Today, we have more than 4 million youth across the country whom we are giving the access to digital literacy, digital skills, entrepreneurial skills, so that finally what matters, that every individual has everything that is needed to run on their own, right? That's super important. So we're very happy if you want to come join us with Code Unnati, because we need many more hands who can kind of scale that from 4 million to several millions taking and moving forward, right? Or another program, like I said, we can spend the whole day here, but just want to also, since earlier on, Seema was talking about the women and in this cohort as well. We deeply believe in bringing more women into tech, right? And of course, 34% of our women at SAP of our workforce are women. But it's important that we also empower the women across, right? So programs like Girls Power Tech or Girls Who Code, where we go into the depth and breadth of the country, where yes, women have embarked on a whole education in STEM, but they don't have access to a corporate world and understand how the corporate world works. So giving them early on access, how does it feel like? Is that something that you really want to do? And give them that aspirational thought process of and encouraging them to take on careers in tech. So a lot of things where we stay very true to our purpose of helping the world run better and improving people's lives.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Sure.
And I'm aware of the Women in Tech conferences, your contributions, and thanks for that as well. I just had a last question, then I'll wrap up. So last question is also a focus question to...
Sir, I would request that I wish that these interesting conversations never end, but in the interest of time,
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, we will just close the session now. So I would now request Ms. Vijaya Tripathi to present the vote of thanks. If the learners have any queries, they can anytime reach out to us, and after the session, maybe you can have a conversation with all the dignitaries as well. Thank you.
A very good morning, everyone, and thanks a lot, Shikha. So as rightly mentioned by Professor Dinesh, that few weeks back we had the graduation ceremony of first batch of AI for managers. So as a team, as the digital team, we are much more confident this time to run this cohort, and we welcome you all. So before I begin the formal vote of thanks, I would request our director, Professor Rishikesh Krishnan, to hand over a token of memento to Ms. Sindhu. I would like to begin the formal vote of thanks by thanking our director, Professor Rishikesh Krishnan, for his vision and unyielding support in making this program a reality. Your guidance has been invaluable, sir, and thank you so much for the same. Secondly,
we exist because of great leaders. So I would like to thank our chairperson, Professor Vasanthi Srinivasan, for always trusting us and believing in us. I would like to thank our program director, Professor Dinesh Kumar, who has worked tirelessly to make this program such a successful initiative. And sincere thanks to Ms. Sindhu Gangadharan. Thank you, ma'am, so much. Last time you gave us 29 participants and this time 78. It re-establishes the fact that you have a lot of faith in IIM Bangalore. Thank you. A special mention of thanks to Mohammad Anzi, who's not here, the Chief Operating Officer at SAP India, and Abhishek sir, Strategic Program at SAP, and for all the constant effort and support which you have rendered to all of us. And now, special thanks to the heroes and the directors of this program, the IMBX team. Usha, our manager, is not here, but on behalf of Usha, I would like to welcome you all to this program, and we hope that we would make this learning journey a great one for all of you. So now we formally wrap up this program. We would invite you for a group photograph, which would be clicked outside the auditorium, followed by high tea, in which you can just meet your batchmates and meet the IMBX team and meet the dignitaries. Thank you so much and all the best. The high tea is at N001. The team would be there to direct you. Thank you. The group photograph is outside N001, so you can take this gate.
One last announcement. The first session by Professor Dinesh will begin at 11:30 in N001. Thank you.